Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smith of the Black with the Strat Time Report, and what we got here is a whole bunch of nutting. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Right now, what we do have is inside on the 60 minutes. So if we're going to get any movement, that's something, right? Because right now we're in a bit of a purgatory. And I'll show you, I was talking about this in Strat Attack and the nightly vid. So here's the issue that we have. One of these is, are we going to be strong enough to form an outside week? That's got some altitude to get up there, you see. So then the next problem is here, we're still slightly red on the month. Then if you go to the daily, yesterday was a different story because we had the 2-2 reversal here, 2 down, 2 up, and now you're going to see this. You're going to see these lower low here, and now the higher high of that. So we're stuck in a mid-level broadening formation in the middle of the bigger one. So how do we get out of this, right? That's the problem. And you can see this. We like nice long red and green bars. You can hear me say that all the time. We don't have them. So right now you got a doji on the day and the SPY. The good thing is we got a bunch of 60s here. So if we're going to get any movement, we're going to be watching these inside 60s. But for the most part, if you got something else to do, I'd go do that. If we go to QQQ here, once again, another inside 60, so that's something. And once again, usually don't draw this till it's closed out, but now that we're a distance from it, here's your broadening formation on the weekly QQQ, and you can see getting right into the middle of it. Are we going to be able to go all the way back up? Because we're still challenged on the month, still red on the month. And once again, here's that broadening formation here, higher high, lower low. But then here, once we rallied back off the 2-2, that made it a lot easier yesterday. You can see the higher high off of that right here and the lower low. So this is your lower level broadening formation. Doji on the day. We don't like that. We like nice long red and green bars. Don't have them. What we do have is inside 60s. Right? If we're going to get any movement at all, it's going to be off these inside 60s. So we can keep an eye on those. If you go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, and you can see diamonds a little weaker. You can see so far on the daily, weren't strong enough to go take this out. They took this out after the lower low, but doji on the day, look at this monthly. That's not good for trading doji. So the weekly, we would have preferred this 2 up, 2 down to collapse a little bit more. We didn't get that. Right now it's rallying back. Once again, inside on the 60 like a lot of things. Purgatory. If we go to the small cappers, also an inside 60. So the question is, do we get anything out of that? And you can see here on the daily, not strong enough to take this stuff out. All it could do is take a little bit of this out, and this monthly, look at this, forever in here, forever, right? And just chop shop on the weekly. So not too much to see here. If we go to the crude's still going. So crude still having a nice little month here, taking the inside month, nice little week, trying to take this out here on the UCO. So crude's still on the move. If you go to natural gas, UNG, natty 2-2 reversal on the day, and it's a little boring, and it's kind of a gap and sit here. I mean, the 2-2 on the month is what I'm saying here. So that's good on the monthly basis for natty gas now that we're in winter. But gap and kind of sit, running a little bit. But like I said, here's an inside week to the upside. Natty number coming out 1 hour after the open tomorrow. Other than that, we got to go down the food chain, because if you look at the sectors themselves, remember trannies, what are they doing? Nothing. This is nothing. They tried to go hammer up and just come right back in. And you can see this chop shop in here, the inside 60, but doing nothing. Still, though, is a 2 up, 2 down week. We'd prefer these to collapse. So if this closes out like this, and we can look for that 2 down, 2 up, and 2-2, 2D2, and back to the downside, because we know, like Norfolk Southern was weak, and so today it just pokes up a little bit. Union Pac. So we're kind of looking for tomorrow, because you're going to have an inside day here in Union Pac and all that kind of stuff. If you go to NXST, and so here's the combinations that you want to look for. So you can see here, green on the 60, green on the day, green on the month, and green on the week. So you do have full time frame continuity to the upside. That's good, right? You also have the inside day here to the upside, right? And if that works, here, hammer, counter, shooter, 2 up, 2 down month. And you can see the chop shop that's been going on here in this monthly in here. So the good thing about that is eventually it resolves, right? Higher high, lower low, and now 2-2 reversal on the month for the rest of the month over 157.38. You're handily there now, and then you can see this continuation on the 60. The 2-1-2 to the upside. Does that continue? Not sure. Like I said, we're watching these inside 60s. Right now, they're trying to resolve to the upside a little bit. QQQ trying to take that inside 60 to the upside. Just be aware, all that's really doing is bringing us into a doji for the day. But 60 is a major signal, so if you can do anything, that's what you'd be looking at. If you go to Charter, still an inside month, so we can expect back and forth. Takes out last week's lows, but comes back into it. You're going to be strong enough to be an outside week? Maybe, but you did have the inside day to the upside, just kind of stalling out here, so we'll see. If you're going to get into this, a lot of these things are going to be lessons about in the future, right? And I'm always talking about, what the setups that you want to look for. And so when you have this inside day, it opens flat, you can take it as soon as it breaks that high. And then if you go down to a 30-minute and you wait for corrective activity, you're going to see this. 2 up, 2 down, you're in right here as soon as it takes that out. And these are going to become an outside bar of that. Right now it just kind of stalls out like with a lot of things. So if we go to DXCM, so I tweet out a gapper list, and this was on that list a few days ago. Some people will stay on that list, all right? Because here, when DXCM gaps down into here, you can see it's been going down for a while into new lower lows. This is exhaustion, right? And so some people with time frame continuity will say, well, at this point, it's like it's down on the month and all that kind of stuff. But if all these sellers that were in here, if this was the last bastion of selling, they're gone, right? And so you can see this was a 2 down, and then yesterday the 2-2 reversal, 2 down, 2 up, like a lot of things were, and now the follow through for these to become an outside bar of that. And so that's a nice little move. If you're able to take it here above 462.99, it's trading 500. It's $38. That's not bad. And no lower low, so you don't have to get out. And if that works, it might even change this month back to green, or give you the outside week. So you can always stay on stuff like that. We go to, and you can see the inside 60 here, the measured move. Up, inside, boom, off she goes. If you go to SPGI, here, inside day to the upside, right? So you have your exhaustion because you gap down here, then inside, boom, 2-1-2 reversal on the day. All right, so we'll see if there's any other ways in on that if you had to trade today. Like right now you can see these things poked up a little bit, but then come right back in. TLT doing this on the 60. TLT, something you can look for, the 2 up, 2 down, stop them out, 2-2 reversal on the 60. 2 down, 2 up. Remember, 60s are a major signal. If this works, become an outside bar of that, right? Still challenged on the month and all that kind of stuff, but we're going down the food chain here a little bit, trying to dig stuff up. If you go to Costco, and Costco here inside of the 60, like a lot of things, right? We know it's been strong on the month, though. It did go 2 down. It just pokes back up, and here you can see that weekly just stopping a bunch of guys out and trying to come back. Still a 2-day inside pattern would be your problem, right? Can't get outside of this just yet, right? But it is inside day and up, and so we'll see if anything comes out of these 60s. Doesn't look like it. If we go to TTWO, once again, exhaustion risk by gapping down. Here's your weekly, gaps down here on the gap list. 2 down by gapping down. Inside day, there's your 2-1-2 reversal on the daily. Here's your inside 60 to the upside, right? So always looking for all these types of combinations. And if you go to the 30, see this, there's your inside 30. And if that works, it triggers the inside 60 to the upside right there. If we go to VIR, and VIR just had 2 hammer. That's a Momo hammer because that's a 2 up. And so what I mean by that is, like, normally, when you look at hammers and stuff, you want it to make a lower low and then be the 2-2 reversal. This is a 2-2 continuation. That's what we call a Momo hammer. It's got to go because it's going to combine buyers with guys who got short. And so if that works, it can work really well. As you can see on the 60, that works really well. In general, doing nothing on the month. And that's why you always want to have multiple time frames up to see are things really doing anything or what's going on. But for the day, that was a nice little run here. So we'll see. If we go to EBIX. EBIX having a nice little push here. And you can see here how they stopped them out here yesterday. Inside day, poke down, boom, RevStrat day yesterday, and then the follow through on all this kind of stuff was real nice because if that works, what that does is not only give you the outside week, but then you're going to have this on the month. 2 down by taking out the lows, 2 up. And as long as that maintains, your magnitude's all the way up into here. So maybe we got some more stuff coming out of there. If we go to CDLX. CDLX having a nice little day after yesterday's RevStrat inside day. Poke down, 1, 2, 2, boom. And so you got a little more magnitude up into here to get your broadening formation. So you're going to see this like so. A little more magnitude to take that out and be an outside week, which would be nice. Got a little bit of a move off that 60 here, but just kind of stuck like a lot of things to see if you can get that outside month. If we go to TWLO, and TWLO pokes up a little bit on that 60. So ideally what we want to look for here if things start to fail at all is things that could be an outside day, right? Once you fail the high and start going red, it's still a 2 up. Came down here, wasn't weak enough to take that out. But if we can see some setups here, maybe a RevStrat 60 or something, and the market weakens a little bit, maybe we get something out of that. But what you're noticing here is usually I'm talking about sectors, right? That's what we want. Like yesterday, we were talking about the energies and we're talking about the techs. Right now, you just have a whole bunch of stuff doing nothing. If you go to SMH, remember yesterday, this was different, right? Bright green. Now Doji doing nothing. You do have your inside 60s trying to resolve to the upside. That's something. How far they're going to go is a whole other story when you're at a doji at this point of the day. If you go to the downside, ZBH. And you can see this here on the daily. So yesterday, power rally for a lot of things. Not so much here. You had a 2 down, 2 up on that. But now it's 2 up, 2 down. Taking that out, and what that did was it reconfirmed this, the 2 up, 2 down reversal on the week. The problem is your magnitude was only to take that out. Your hopes was this, but it did take that out. Now you can see stuck in the 60s like a lot of things. If we go to ALGN, so ALGN looks like it gives us the outside day, not the end of the world here for this thing, but it is down on the month, 2 down on the month. So on the daily, it kind of does what it's supposed to do by taking this being an outside day. We're just looking for anything that's long red and green bars, and it's really a tough time finding them. If we go to Yum Brands, and Yum Brands having some issues here, and you can see that taking out last week's lows, still an inside month. But when you have all of this stuff red, you have full time frame continuity to the downside, and you can see this after yesterday when the market rallied back. Yum took out previous day's lows, then following through again today. So we'll see if that sets up again for us more weakness. If we go to Jefferies Financial, a little bit better here, kicker. See this bright green? Oh yeah, anybody short, they're gone. And then the gap down on this, boom, now they're scrambling to get out. Ugh, right, that was a real nice hit here. A little fast on that, but we'll see if that sets up again, because once again, potentially outside month, right? If you go to ACRS, once again on the daily, you'll see this. 2 down, 2 up, boom, 2-2 reversal back down. It takes that out. And if that works, it's going to take that month, take that week. Now you're going into exhaustion risk by recent lows, as you can see, and then stuck in the 60s like a lot of things. If you go to DGX gaps down, stuck inside these 60s again, but what you can see on this gap, what it's doing here in the monthly, that's a 2 up and that's a 2 down. below here. And this is a 3. That was an outside month, so you got your 3, 2, 2. So as far as we know, we're going to take this thing out here down at 139, but that's going to have to set up again. So once again, be careful out there. Chop shop. Sector's not doing much. Broader average is not doing much, and a bit of a purgatory. So let's let them move before you try and figure out what you're going to do, right? Because if things are really going to move, they'll move. You don't have to be the first person in there. Let them turn those bars turn bright red and bright green. That's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Smith in the Black.